Good afternoon. In this special edition of Mr. Bates' Algebra 2 sixth period class, we come live with an interview with Bethany Wellinger and Kelsey Deckard. How are you ladies doing today?
Pretty dope.
Pretty good.
All right. It's good to hear. Good to hear. So, in your years here at ACE, what has been the most memorable moment in your time here?
I remember my first day here, Miss Hoover called me weird.
All right. Kelsey?
I don't know. What am I supposed to say?
What your most memorable moment is?
Meeting Bethany Wellinger.
Definitely not that. Let's say getting MVP in volleyball.
Getting MVP in volleyball? That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. So what is like the absolute worst thing that's happened to you in your time here?
My ex-boyfriend.
Ooh, indeed, students. Ooh, indeed.
Doing chemistry and pre-cal same time. Horrible.
Rough time, but you pulled through, right? If you have any advice for those incoming freshmen next year, what would you have?
Don't do a lot of drugs and go to parties.
Notice that she put emphasis on the words a lot. Seth Moeller picked up on that. So according to Seth and Bethany, a little bit is A-okay. Don't do it, though, kids. Don't do it.
Don't stress out. You get a C, you get a C.
You get a C, you get a C. Don't stress out. Great words. Well, thank you. That's all the time we have today, ladies. We got to get to our actual Algebra 2 lesson.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So. All right, guys. Today we are going over long division of polynomials. Tomorrow we'll be doing synthetic division, which is something you may or may not have been exposed to. So the first thing on your note page is just a quick reminder for our foreign exchange students. If you guys do your long division in a different way than the American version, that is absolutely fine, whatever way makes you more comfortable. The same thing with your polynomial division. If you guys do that method where you have the line and you're writing on both sides, that's okay. As long as you're ending up with the correct answer for your quotient and remainder, we're all right. Okay? So don't worry too much about doing it the American way. Any way is fine. So let's go with the very basic. This is just a reminder for somebody who might not even remember elementary school, right? Cameron? I'm not saying that you don't remember elementary school. Sure. So Cameron, I'm going to have you walk me through. We have 277 divided by 12. So we're going to do that in the long division way. If we want, we could even talk about it like elementary school and be like, we're going to put 12 outside the house and 277's inside. I have no idea how they teach it. So it's raining, okay? Sione says, it's raining men. Hallelujah. It's raining men. So, all right. Schnicker. So, what are we going to do? 12 can't go into 2, so it goes into 27, though, twice. So 27 divided by 12 is 2. And then what do I do? 2 times 12 is 24, and you put that under the 27. Fantastic. Next step? Subtract that. Bring the 7 down. So 37 divided by 12 is 3. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Correct. Now, I'm going to stop you because there are multiple ways we can go from here. In elementary school, you might have been told now you're going to put remainder 1. In elementary school, they might have said put a decimal, bring it up, add a 0, bring the 0 down, and keep going. Okay? We are going to stop, and we're going to add the remainder as a fraction at the end. So this is going to be 12 goes into 277, 23, and 1/12 of a time. 1/12, because it's your remainder over your divisor. Your remainder over your divisor. That might be the only thing that's a little different. I want to put the remainder over the divisor afterwards. Yes, ma'am?
So that would, the 1/12 is equivalent to whatever we would have gotten.
As a decimal. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Why does it
I don't know. Elementary schools are much more obsessed with decimals for some reason. I really don't understand it. Yes, ma'am. If it divides easily, then it's called a factor, because we're doing polynomials. But then it would be you don't put 0/12 or anything. You just stop. If you get a 0 at the end, you would just stop. So it's the same exact algorithm for dividing polynomials. So on the next one, Raymond, can you read it off? It's 4x. Uh-huh. Plus 1. Okay. What did you just say? Did I hear that right? Okay. I'll assume I didn't. Must have been completely. No. No. Anyhow, moving forward. So if you notice at the top, new lesson, let's stop talking. Okay, you've been absent a lot. It's really not the time to be talking to her. That's being a bad friend by also engaging with her, so don't do that. So, if you notice at the top, I said when we divide polynomials, it's the same algorithm, except we're only going to pay attention to the first term. We're only going to pay attention to the first term in our dividend and our divisor. Okay? So who haven't I called on? You know what? I already got Braden today because I said I was going to pick up with him today, and I forgot. So I'm actually back around here to Riley. So we're to Riley. We're going to this row. Okay, Riley. So I'm only worried about the first term. So I'm worried about the x squared, and I'm worried about the 4x cubed, and that's it to start with. Okay? So on the other one, we did 27 divided by 12, and it was just 2. We know that it can only go in twice. So it's the same thing here. 4x cubed divided by x squared is what? So, Elias, since you've walked in, you've been a distraction. Please stop. Okay? 4x cubed divided by x squared. So I'm doing the first term divided by the first term. What would that give me, Riley? No, the coefficient won't change. Because this is a 1, right? So 4 divided by 1 is 4. And then x cubed divided by x squared is just, you said a second ago, x. Okay? So 4x cubed divided by x squared is just 4x. So far, just like the algorithm, I'm just worried about that first term. Now the next thing Cameron said to do was what? Over here. We put a 2. What was the next step we did? No, that's not the next thing we did. Multiplied and got 24. So I'm going to multiply. So Michael, 4x times x squared. 4x cubed. 4x times 3x. Squared. X times x squared. And 4x times 1. 4x. Okay, next step in the algorithm is to do what? Subtract. So when I subtract, I have to be careful. Be careful. Cuidado. Achtung. Attenzione. There we go. All right? You're subtracting the entire thing. So Seth, 4x cubed minus 4x cubed is 0. Cancels. That's what we want. Every time the first thing's going to go away. Seth, 2x squared minus 12x squared. Close. Super close. Everybody's right what they're saying to you. Here, I'll even write what you wrote. That's not wrong. There's a little more to it. Negative. Because 2 minus 12, sir. Okay? And then 3x minus 4x? Close? Negative x, yeah. Well, okay, guys, next step in the algorithm is to bring it down. Bring it down. Now we repeat. We repeat. So, Sione, negative 10x squared divided by x squared is negative 10. You're going to do the whole thing. Distribute. Negative 10 times x squared. Negative 10 times 3x. Watch those signs, sir. Negative 10 times 1. Okay. Elias, the next step would be to do what? Subtract. Don't forget, it's the whole thing. Negative 10x squared minus negative 10x squared. Negative negative makes a, yeah, positive. It cancels. Okay. Be careful. That negative sign is distributing. Okay. Negative x minus negative 30x. 29x. Good job. 5 minus negative 10. 15. That's my remainder. Once the exponent down here is less than the exponent in your divisor, you're to your remainder. So that is x to the 1. That's x squared, so we're to our remainder. Isabella? Are you sure? All right. I really don't mind talking to you. The whole thing was just a joke earlier. I mean, okay. Oh, I got to say what's appropriate on microphone, you know. We're still going to fight after school. Okay. All right. So this is my remainder. So I'm going to go ahead and put plus 29x plus 15 over x squared plus 3x plus 1. You feel more satisfied now that you've had an interview in? Okay. I've got to say, Emil really outshined you both on how to respond to interview questions, though. I think Emil outshined like teacher interviews I've seen. It was I know, right? I mean, if he, like when he's a teacher, I could picture him being a teacher now, and like they're gonna be like, "So, tell us a little about yourself." And he's gonna be like, "It all started in 2010. I was at my grandmother's house in the Alps. Grandmother used to always make hot apple cider in a crock pot. She had to go through a strainer, but if I would be damned if it wasn't the best thing I've ever drank in my life." Childhood memories like that always, and it just be like take you away on some story.
Like the person would just be like, "Wow, you're already hired." Like,
Yeah.
with his accent and everything, it's over.
Okay. Okay. Elias? Plus 3x plus 1, the divisor. Yes. The next one's got, and like I said, once again, ladies, if you have a different way of dividing to get to that same spot that you prefer, by all means, it's still the same math every time. It's just a different way of visually representing it. Pishamun, do you guys do it that way, or do you do it the way they do? Or do you do it completely different? Oh, you don't remember? Okay. All right. Next question. Destiny, why don't you go and read me it?
6x to the 4th plus 5x plus 2x plus 8 parentheses divided by x squared plus 2x minus 5.
All right. So I gave you this example because there's something that you guys should know. If you've got the most neat, I should say the neatest handwriting out there, Seth phone, if you guys have the neatest handwriting out there and you don't make mistakes and you really know how to combine like terms and you'll never make a mistake doing that, by all means, you do not have to do what I'm about to show you. For everybody else, which is pretty much all of you, please do what I'm about to show you until you get really, really good. All right? So when I go to write this, yeah, right. Hey, I still put the marker to the... ahead and write it, and then I'll answer that question. Write it and think about it while you write it, and then I'll answer that question. Do you ever remember a time when it didn't?
I don't have a response to that.
I'm just saying, maybe you've lived life with a chronic headache forever. Perpetual?
They use small words.
Never stops.
Maybe.
Okie dokie. So when we write it, guys, we should put placeholders in. We should put placeholders in for the missing terms. So we started at the fourth power, then dropped to the third, so the next one would be squared. But we didn't have any. So I'm putting placeholders, and we're going to see exactly why in the next step. So we're wrapped around here to Colin. Colin, we're going to do the division. 6x to the fourth divided by x squared is what? Huh? 6x to the fourth divided by x squared is 6x squared. You could have got that without. You ladies didn't need to whisper anything at him. Okay? Well, you subtract them. So a 4 minus a 2 gives you the 2. Okay? So 6x to the fourth divided by x squared is that. So now we're going to go ahead and distribute. So Colin, we know that this is just going to bring us back when I multiply. It'll bring me back to 6x to the fourth. 6x squared times 2x is 12x cubed. Because if we're multiplying, we're adding the exponents. This has got a 1 on it, so 2 and 1 make the cube, okay? And then 6x squared times negative 5 squared. This one doesn't have an x, so nothing's adding to it. So now, hopefully, I'll wait like 5 seconds for you guys to write that. Hopefully you see why I put the 0x squared in. If I didn't put that here, this would be lined up underneath the 2x instead. So don't write this. I'm just about to, let me just do this really quick. So if you're not paying attention, you go to add these, you might combine these two. You can't do it. That's not an x squared. So if you don't put your placeholders and you're not paying attention, when you go to add those, they're not lining up, and if you actually accidentally add them, you'll have made an error. Okay? Yeah, they're still off to the side because they're going to drop down after we subtract. Okay, so we subtract parentheses. Don't forget it. This is like stomping with your right foot when you're trying to blow a bubble. Don't forget it. Okay?
Where's that from?
When SpongeBob's training Squidward how to blow a bubble, you bring it around town. Around town. Stop once with your right foot. Don't forget it! Okay? So, those cancel. 5x cubed minus 12x cubed. Zero x squared minus negative 30x squared. Positive 30x squared. Don't forget that negative sign. Drop down the 2x. Repeat the algorithm. So we're to Cameron. Cameron, how many times does x squared go into negative 7x cubed? Correct. We distribute. Did I make an error? Don't forget it. Okay. I didn't do anything different. I'm hoping we got it. Richard, you're the last one. Why don't you just finish it off? How many times does x squared go into 44x squared? 44 times. So we get 44x squared. 44 times 2, 88x. And 44 times negative 5, negative 220. Subtract, parentheses, don't forget it. Don't cry, Destiny. It's going to be okay. You can cross over her side. She just can't cross over your side. So if you need to pat her on the back and say they're there. Or if you want to just meanly move her paper off your desk. Okay. Negative 33 minus 88. And 8 plus 220. Not too bad, right, guys? Dividing polynomials. Bethany, question?
So when you're dividing it into it, like how you do the x squared divided into all of them, is it always going to be the first?
Just worry about the first terms. Look at the sentence at the top of the page.
Oh, does it say that?
Yeah. If you look at the sentence on the top, it says
I just wanted to
only compare first terms of the dividend and divisor. Okay? We're not going to have time, but tomorrow, since it's a pep rally day, I need to get through synthetic division, which most of you I don't think have seen. So please make sure you've done 1 through 4 in your workbook. I'll check it for some hero points tomorrow. So just try them out. We're doing synthetic division. Oh, no, not in 3 minutes.